Hello everybody, Mega Goal number 4, Unit 1, There is no place like home, pages 6 and 7. Now let's take a look at the objectives. Number 1, listen and discuss. Number 2, read and give the meaning of the new words. And number 3, discuss the lesson. راح نسمع عشان نناقش، برضو راح نقرأ ونعطي المعنى الصحيح للكلمات الجديدة، برضو راح نناقش الدرس. Now, the title of this unit is called There is no place like home. So, this is a common expression which means that one's home is the most happiest and most comfortable place in the world. Or, in other words, home is the most satisfying place to be. There is no place like home. There is no place like home هو يعني تعبير شائع بمعنى أن منزل الواحد هو أكثر مكان مريح وكذلك أكثر مكان مرضي للشخص. Now please move on to pages number 6 and 7. There is no place like home. Before we start, let's take a look at the vocab very quickly. Atmosphere, which means the mood or feeling in a place such as a home. Loyalty, showing constant support for someone such as a family member or a friend. Wealth, wealth means the possessions of a large amount of money, property by someone or something. Comfort, it means help or kindness to someone who is hurt or feeling bad for some reason. Furnish. When you furnish a place or a house, it means to fill a home with furniture and other things it needs for people to live in it. Poverty. Exile. Exile means forced absence from one's country or home. Worn, it means damage or in poor condition because of heavy use. Shelter, to protect from something, a home protects people from the cold, wind, rain, etc. So a home is considered to be a shelter. Now please move on to pages number 6 and 7 and please follow up with me as I explain this lesson. Before we start listening to the given text and discussing it, there are a couple of questions that I'd like to discuss with you. بعض الأسئلة اللي أود مناقشتها معكم. So the first question, I'd like to know, what do you think is the difference between a house and a home? باعتقادكم ما هو الفرق بين الhouse and home? Well, probably the main difference between them is that the house is more like concrete. So a house is like a building. So house refers to building in which someone lives. In contrast, a home can refer either to a building or to any location that a person thinks of as the place where she lives and that belongs to her. So a home can be something abstract, a place in your mind. كثير يفرقون بين الهاوس إنه هو كونكريت أو مبنى، لكن هوم هو يعني عادة معنى تجريدي للمكان اللي يشعر الشخص أنه ينتمي إليه. So in your opinion, what do you think the difference is between a house and a home? If you have answers, you are welcome to leave them in the comment box below. إذا كانت عندكم أي إجابات أخرى عن الفرق بين الهاوس والهوم ممكن تتركونها في بوكس التعليقات. Now let's move on to the next question. Now in your own opinion, what do you think the most important things in your home? Or what are the most important things in your home? إيش الأشياء المهمة في منزلك؟ Is it your belongings, الأشياء اللي تمتلكها? Is it your family? Again, if you have an answer to this question, you are welcome to leave it in the comment box below. Now, I want you to describe both the interior and the exterior of your dream house or dream home. أبغاكم تصفون الشكل الخارجي exterior as you could see here، وكذلك الشكل الداخلي interior لمنزل الأحلام. Now you are asked to read and say what you think each text is about. Okay, so right now please move on to pages number 6 and 7 and please follow up with me as I explain this lesson. So there is no place like home. Listen and discuss. Let's listen to the first part and let's discuss it and summarize it afterwards.
Unit 1. There's no place like home. Pages 6 and 7. 1. Listen and discuss. 1.
What is home? A roof to keep out the rain? 4 walls to keep out the wind? Floors to keep out the cold? Yes, but home is more than that. It is the laugh of a baby, the verse of a mother, the strength of a father, warmth of loving hearts, lights from happy eyes, kindness, loyalty, comradeship. Home is first school for young ones, where they learn what is right, what is good, and what is kind, where they go for comfort when they are hurt or sick, where joy is shared and sorrow eased, where fathers and mothers are respected and loved, where children are wanted, where the simplest food is good enough for kings because it is earned, where money is not as important as loving kindness, where even the tea kettle whistles from happiness. That is home. Ernestine Schumann Heink.
Okay, so we have listened to a description of what home is, and this description is identified by Ernestine Schumann Heink. Now, let's discuss what we have listened to in details. So, what is home? A roof to keep out the rain, 4 walls to keep out the wind, floors to keep out the cold. Yes, but home is more than that. It is the laughter of a baby, the verses of a mother, the strength of a father, warmth of loving hearts, lights from happy eyes, kindness, loyalty, comradeship. So in the first part, Ernestine is identifying home، يعني تعرف المنزل ما هو المنزل؟ هل هو سقف يحمي من المطر؟ 4 جدران لإبعاد الريح؟ أرضيات للحماية من البرد؟ نعم، لكن الوطن في رأيها هو أكثر من ذلك. إنها ضحكة طفل، شعر قوة أب، دفء قلوب محبة، أنوار من عيون سعيدة، لطف، إخلاص، صداقة أو رفقة. Now home is first school for young ones, where they learned what is right, what is good, and what is kind, where they go from comfort when they are hurt or sick, where joy is shared and sorrow eased, where fathers and mothers are respected and loved, where children are wanted, where the simplest food is good enough for kings because it's earned, where money is not as important as loving kindness, where even the tea kettle whistle from happiness. That's home. Okay, so as Einstein identify home, that home, المنزل, is the first school for kids، المدرسة الأولى للصغار، حيث يتعلمون ما هو الصحيح وما هو جيد وما هو طيب، حيث يذهبون كذلك للراحة، يعني لما الواحد يشعر بالتعب وين يذهب؟ للمنزل. عندما يصابون أو يمرضون، حيث يشارك أيضا الفرح ويخفف من الحزن، حيث يكون الآباء والأمهات محترمين ومحبين، وحيث يكون الأطفال wanted يعني مرغوبين أو مطلوبين، حيث يكون أبسط الأكل خيرا كأنه للملوك، لأنه طبعا يتم اكتسابه، حيث المال ليس بأهمية اللطف والمحب، حيث حتى غلاية الشاي تصفر من السعادة. So, do you know the meaning of tea kettle? So, tea kettle is something which is used to boil water for tea. So, how can you think a tea kettle whistle? كيف تصفر? Sometimes when the water boils, some of the tea kettles make a whistling sound. At home, this kettle whistles from happiness. تصفر من السعادة. So this is the first description of a home by Einstein. Let's move on right now to the next quotation and let's discuss them afterwards. Right now you will be listening to 4 quotations and we will discuss them afterwards.
Two.
No one realizes how beautiful it is to travel until he comes home and rests his head on his old, familiar pillow. Lin Yutang.
3.
The wealth of a man in exile is home, and the poverty of a man at home is exile. Arabic proverb.
4.
The best way to keep children home is to make the home atmosphere pleasant and let the air out of the tires. Dorothy Parker.
5. A man builds a fine house, and now he has a master and a task for life. He is to furnish, watch, show it, and keep it in repair the rest of his days. Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Okay, so right now we have listened to 4 quotations. Let's discuss them and summarize them in details and let's see if you agree with them or not. خلينا نناقش هذه الاقتباسات اللي سمعناها ونلخصهم ونشوف إذا تتفقون معهم أو لا. So no one realizes how beautiful it is to travel until he comes home and rests his head on his old familiar pillow. Lin Yutang. So Lin Yutang is saying لأن لا أحد يدرك كم هو جميل السفر حتى يعود إلى المنزل ويضع رأسه على وسادته القديمة المألوفة. Now this is an Arabic proverb which says the wealth of man is exile, is home, and the poverty of a man at home is exile. ثروة الرجل في المنفى هي الوطن وفقر الرجل في المنزل هو المنفى. بعبارة أخرى الفقر في الوطن غربة والغنى في الغربة وطن. Do you agree with this Arabic proverb or not? You can just tell me in the comment box below. Okay, now let's move on to the next one. The best way to keep children 5 home is to make the home atmosphere pleasant and let the air out of the tires. أفضل طريقة لإبقاء 5 أطفال في المنزل هي جعل جو المنزل pleasant لطيف وترك الهواء يخرج من الإطارات. Now let the air out of the tires. What are the tires referred to in the quote? Well, the tires on a car يعني يقصدون اللي هي التاير اللي في السيارات. Now, how do you think يعني this expression is relevant to keeping the children at home? So, if you have a flat tire, إذا كان عندك يعني flat tire ما في هواء, you cannot يعني drive the car, ما تستطيع قيادة السيارة. So, in this condition, if the home atmosphere is pleasant, the children won't be able to go anywhere nor would they want to. يعني الأطفال في هالحالة ما يبغون يعني يغادرون المنزل ولا يفضلون حتى إنهم يغادرون المنزل طبعا إذا كان atmosphere of the house is pleasant. So this is how Dorothy Parker identifies a home. Now let's move on to the next thing. Now, a man builds a fine house and now he has a master and a task for life. He is to furnish, watch, show it and keep it in repair the rest of his days. طبعا راف والدن إمرسون. راف والدن إمرسون is saying إنه لما الواحد يبني منزل الآن يصبح لديه سيد لبقية حياته وتكون عنده وظيفة لبقية حياته اللي هو يأثثه يعتني فيه طبعا يعمل على إصلاحه لبقية أيام حياته. So in other words, Ralph is viewing having a house like having a burden كأنه حمل عليك. So when you have a master, it means that you have someone who tells you what to do and having like a boss who tells you what to do. Okay? Which means the house right now is the one who is in control, هو المسيطر. Now let's move on to the rest of the quotes or the rest of the quotations and let's listen to them and let's discuss them afterwards. Okay? Let's listen and discuss them afterwards.
6.
Boys are life's way of telling you your house is too clean. Unknown.
7.
There isn't enough furniture in the world to make a house without love feel like a home. Unknown.
8.
A house is a home when it shelters the body and comforts the soul. Philip Moffat.
9.
A house that does not have one worn, comfy chair in it is soulless. May Sarton.
10.
A small old house filled with love is better than a large new house with none. Unknown.
Okay, so now we have listened to the rest of the quotes or the quotations. Let's move on and let's discuss them in details. So boys are life's way of telling you your house is too clean. Unknown. طبعا يعني حياة الأولاد هي الطريقة التي تخبرك أن منزلك نظيف جدا. طبعا this quotes or this quotation expresses that if you have boys probably it's hard work to keep the house clean. إذا كانت لديك أولاد في المنزل probably ممكن يكون جدا صعب أن تبقي على المنزل نظيف. Now let's move on to the next one. There isn't enough furniture in the world to make a house without love feel like a home. لا يوجد أساس كافي في العالم يجعل المنزل بدون حب كأنه يشعرك بأنه منزلك أو يشعرك بأنه المنزل. Unknown. Now, a house is a home where it shelters the body and comforts the soul. Philip Moffat. طبعا this is very brief and to the point. مختصر جدا ويعني to the point. لأن الhouse is home لما يأوي الجسد ويريح كذلك الروح. Okay, so this is what Philip Moffat says about home. Now, a house that doesn't have one warm, comfy chair in it is soulless. المنزل, according to May, of course, Sarton, المنزل الذي لا يحتوي على كرسي مريح واحد بالي بلا روح. Now, if I ask you, what does comfy mean? Comfy is actually the short, informal form of comfortable. Why do you think a worn chair is more comfortable than a new chair? ليش تعتقدون أن الكرسي البالي مريح أكثر من الكرسي الجديد? Because it's probably soft and you do not need to be careful when you sit in it. you can relax. طبعا الكرسي البالي المريح ما تحتاج أن تكون يعني منتبه جدا لما تجلس عليه، وبذلك يعني it is more relaxing than a new chair. Now let's move on to the next one. A small old house filled with love is better than a large new house with none. منزل صغير ممتلئ بالحب أفضل من منزل كبير بدون أي حب. Now this is an unknown this quotation or this quote is said by an unknown person, يعني شخص غير معروف. Now let's move on to the quick check and let's take a look at the vocabulary. You are asked to complete the sentences with one of these words. طبعا مطلوب ان احنا نكمل الجمل بإحدى هذه الكلمات. All of these words we have discussed them and gave the meaning of them in Arabic as well earlier in this video. Now the first one, the people showed to the king by putting his face on the new coin. The people showed loyalty. Number 2, while children have nightmares, mothers give comfort with loving words. The museum has a quiet and peaceful atmosphere. Number 4, people who live in poverty often have no food and shelter. Number 5, they had no money to furnish their house, so they use boxes and chairs. Number 6, we've had this couch too long, it's starting to look worn. Number 7, we use the tree for shelter during the storm. Number 8, having great wealth means nothing if you cannot share it with others. Now let's move on to the comprehension questions. Now, who considers a house to be a burden? مين اللي ينظر إلى المنزل كأنه حمل؟ Ralph Waldo Emerson, when he says that if you have a house, it means that you have a master till the rest of your life. Now, who feels rich at home? Unknown. الغنى في الغربة وطن والفقر في الوطن غربة. Now, who thinks that living with boys is hard work? Unknown. Now, what wants to keep his or her kids at home? Who wants to keep his or her kids at home? Dorothy Parker. Now, who sees home as a perfect place? Lin Yuting and Arneson Shumar Han. Both of them, they view home as a perfect place to live. Now, right now we have reached the end of the lesson. I hope that you have enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, share this video with your friends, and hit the like button. Until next time, have a good one.